Malabar to Morocco CD uடைய launch and Vijay Krishnan Carnatic violinist இருந்து இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு collaborative workல world music album launch பண்றேன். இதுல பல சிறந்த கலைஞர்கள் collaborate பண்ணிருக்காங்க என்னோட and எல்லாரும் கேட்டு மகிழுங்க. Thank you.
Good evening, music lovers. Good evening, Krishnan sir and Mrs. Krishnan and Vijay. You know, years before when I was a student of the Film Institute, I got a chance to assist on my first job, and it was for director Hariharan, and he was doing a documentary on Professor Tv&Krishnan. And the first time I went in as an assistant, I was doing everything like, you're like the fifth assistant, so you got to do everything like serving tea, putting the clap, writing, so are you on direction department, are you on camera, you're on every department. So you're the runner on the unit. I was delighted, and suddenly, in that shoot, there was this big camera which we were trying out for something called the Steadicam, and it wasn't working. And the gentleman who had come with the camera wasn't well. So for the first time in my life, I put this camera on my chest and the monitor wasn't working and I was shooting blind. And the first person I shot in my life with my thing was Professor Tv&Krishnan. And that day, Vijay was playing the violin with her. So it's like life has come a full circle. And now I'm seeing Vijay's documentary. But fortunately, Vijay's documentary is in focus and it looks great, and whoever shot it has done a fantastic job. Unlike the one which we shot, where the camera wasn't, there was no monitor working and we were like shooting blind, hoping that something will happen. So 25 years down the line, filmmaking has improved. I think aesthetics of the way the image is created is also improved. But Carnatic music, where is it, is the question. So if you were to do conventional Carnatic music, you get a chance to play during those 14-15 days during December, and the rest of the time you have to go and hope for Cleveland, Aradhana and some temple festival here. So music has to change and evolve, and I think it's a great thing that music is evolving and changing, because it's wrong on our part to ever imagine that music as in Carnatic music was like this always. This music that we now know as Carnatic music is probably can be traced to the Tanjore court, which is just around 200 years old. And Tanjore was a great cosmopolitan center where they had great influences. This very instrument that you're playing, the violin, is not an Indian instrument. They should call it fiddle, Krishna here, fiddle, So it's obvious that its influence came through either the French troops or through some travelers. So music and musical influences came in literally across the seas. And when she calls it Malabar to Morocco, I love the alliteration of Ma. But more than the alliteration is her origins, and I always enjoy speaking Malayalam to Professor Krishnan, and Vijay too speaks it fluently. So why did these Westerners come? They came for the spices or through the spice route. And the moment she said Morocco, I remembered Ibn Battuta, the great traveler who kind of traveled through. And the first track that you hear, it just got my hair standing, because of course it's the big strong bowing that she does, which has been the trademark of her father too, where it's very difficult to know whether it's going up or going down, because it remains one note. For most other musicians, when it goes up and down, you can feel the bow changing, but it never happens in the Tv&Krishnan school, and that's one of the great strengths of bowing and the smoothness of the bowing. But what's interesting is in this video showing Vigneshwara, and gods themselves make journeys. When I went to shoot for Guru at Badami, and the capital of the Chalukyas, the Pallavas and the Chalukyas fought many battles between 4th century and 8th century, and there were many continuous battles. And Pulakeshi won, and the Chalukya king, they had these fights. And at the end of one of them, they got hold of their god from Badami and brought him all the way here. And that's why the most famous song in Hamsadwani has Vatapi Ganapatim Bajeham. Vatapi standing for Badami. And he who came from thing. So when gods have come from Maharashtra and resided so deeply in our hearts, so also the music. So I think the first bridge you make here is the bridge between north and south. And Hamsadwani is one such rag which is equally important in both the streams of music as well as its interpretation is pretty close, and the way the raga is interpreted remains beautiful. But in Carnatic music, when you look at it, you see so many of the ragas telling you from where they have come. Saurashtra, I mean, it's obvious that it's coming from Saurashtra. When you have Kamboji, you think, is it coming from Cambodia? I mean, where is it coming from? And then you say, no, it's not there. There's something called Hari Kamboji, so it's from here. This is from the land of Hari. So you have various indicators that music actually came from very many areas. So I love the second song, which I think is from something like Chakravaham, and I kind of know these ragams based on certain songs and I identify it like Pavana Guru, or, so you remember these things. But the most impressive is when you hear the Kiravani piece, and I was walking in Turkey, and when the muezzin called, it is the most beautiful experience walking in Istanbul, because each mosque calls in a certain raga, and you can feel the Kiravani, and that is so beautiful when it comes. And then, while Ibn Battuta made this journey, it is believed, of course, he came here and met the crazy Muhammad bin Tughlaq and wrote extensively about the tortures that he was doing and the craziness that he was involved in, and is sailing down and trying to reach China. And so the other big song, which is in the pentatonic scale, which you will see, is the Mohanam, has very distinct Far Eastern influences, because this journey takes you down to China. And then when you come back, all the shipping was possible with the monsoon winds. And when you hear that Madhyamavati and you really feel the rain is coming, and for people like us from Kerala, where we have 6 months of rain, it's the most beautiful time, and to hear the rain is fantastic. And then coming to the last two songs, in Kapi, and then finally having her father herself play with him during the Sindhu Bhairevi, which sort of again reconciles in this great devotional offering towards the temple sounds and all that. I think it's a marvelous journey that she has taken, and when she calls it, it's the reverse journey that Ibn Battuta took all the way from Morocco to here and come to Calicut.
4TamilMedia.com தினமும் உலகை புதிதாய் காணலாம்.